For the many tourists they host every year, the Maldives, situated in the middle of the Indian Ocean, just below the equator, are mostly a holiday's heaven in the shade of coconut trees. Capital of this Islamic Republic, independent since 1965 and member of the Commonwealth, Malé is a compulsory stage to discover the 26 atolls and 1,200 small islands which compose them. This modern city, of more than 75,000 inhabitants, has an impressive, always growing tourism rate. Ubet is Maldivian. He is the captain of the Hamati, a boat chartered by surfers for an exploration of a new type. He comes to the market to fulfill the very first mission of an adventure which will last 3 weeks. Time to make a decent stock over this period for the 14 people, crew members included, who will take seat on board the Hamati. Mike and Nahu are local surfers. They're in charge of weather and surf forecasting. They will operate from Malé and will play a crucial role for the trip, guiding the Hamati towards the best chances to find waves. Antony is French. He will be on the boat and will keep in touch daily with Mike and Nahu.
Hey, you and Nahu?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Antony. Hey, it's pretty good, it's pretty good. So, I got your address from Ibrahim. And he told you that maybe you could help us, with the surf forecast for our trip. So, can I come in?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Connected on the web, Mike and Nahu analyzed the force in routing for this trip. The day before departure, all is therefore ready to welcome the main actors of the trip. Their schedule is a little different from what the usual boat trip companies offer. One of the reasons for this is that they are not simple tourists, but highly skilled professional surfers. Hawaiian Duane de Soto and Californian Taylor Jensen are riding traditional 9-foot longboards. They will share this boat trip with 3 shortboarders, South African Nigel Gibb and 2 big wave riders from Tahiti, Malik Joyeux and Manoa Drollet. From now on, they leave the modern world for several days of open sea, a very special experience for all the members of the expedition. Manoa has already been on several boat trips. The difference between a boat trip and a land trip is that you're going to stay with the same persons for weeks. And that's a little special. It's a different relation, you get to know the people better. You must be patient too when the surf is small. You need to really like boats to be able to handle it, bring a few good books or like to dive. So basically, you're on a boat. Their destination is unknown, or nearly. They have a real mission on that trip, discovering new surf spots in the central atolls, a mostly unexplored area of the Maldives.
We're going towards Meemu, right? How much time do you think it's going to take to go from Mali to Medofushi?
9 hours.
9 hours.
On se dirige vers le sud.
We're going south, full south, at 180 degrees. That means full south here. We'll go around South Malay Atoll, give a quick look at one little island on the way, and then we go to Felidou. We cross Felidou, and then we should get to Meemu by the end of the day after 9 hours of navigation. Hours of navigation, hard to avoid with a boat anyway. With a 10 knots average speed and without any other goal than finding good waves, navigation will be a daily routine.
Good morning! Coming in right here. So when are we jumping? The tide's dropping. When the tide switches, it should get even bigger. Yeah? With a little tide push. Yeah. If it was high tide, eventually that inside one actually like kind of hook. Yeah, you gotta wait a few hours for it to come up. See right there? If it's a higher tide, it might have a little. That one was makeable. That one was actually makeable. Yeah, until right there. Oh shit. And you're just low in the water.
Ce que je préfère dans les trips, les boat trips.
What I like most in boat trips is the fact that you can surf every day.
C'est-à-dire que tu te lèves le matin.
You wake up in the morning, you're on the spot. You check the conditions, you can instantly go for a surf. You surf for 3 or 4 hours, then you get back on the boat for lunch. You're right there.
Tu reviens sur le bateau, tu manges, t'es sur place quoi.
With the tide coming in, the reef is getting covered by enough water for the swell to wrap around the pass, a perfect setup for surfing. Good right-handers, a little small but fast and hollow enough to make a few turns, finally get the riders motivated to go out for a short session. Some pretty good waves for that first session, but not enough for our riders. By searching well, it should be possible to find a better exposed reef, which will offer longer and possibly bigger waves.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like
For a great part, the best surf spots on the planet have already been discovered, documented and photographed. There are still a few jewels to be found, but these places, the very last frontiers of board riding sports, are that far and unknown that they ask for a more demanding way of exploration. Still, the Maldives have the world's largest commercial companies of a craft that, for surfers at least, is like the ultimate weapon, a seaplane. Able to take off and land on a short distance, even in rough seas, the seaplane is the ideal surf mobile to check the nearby spots. The unbelievable beauty of the Maldivian atolls tend to hide the extreme fragility of these unique coral structures. With a maximum altitude of 1.50 m and most of the islands only emerging a few centimeters above the surface, the global warming effect is taken very seriously by local authorities, as explained Mohamed Ali, in charge of the ecological program.
One of the biggest worry is the issue of sea level rise. Because of thermal expansion, the sea level is rising, and we have records of that in the Maldives as well. The 10-year records for the Maldives, for Malé, indicates that we have a rise between 3 to nearly 5 millimeters per year in the last 10 years. So once that happens, because we are just about a meter above sea level, we will be faced with this problem of water coming up from the side as well as from the from underneath.
With the help of the Japanese government, an ambitious program to protect the shore of the island of Malé has been started thanks to these concrete blocks. But in the South Atolls, the locals keep on picking up sand from the lagoons to build seawalls, a practice that is just as dangerous for the ecosystem as the global warming itself. The second worry of the scientists concerns the health of the coral reef. As in Australia or in Indonesia, it is also greatly endangered in the Maldives.
The water temperature is rising, and more the heat is transferred from the atmosphere into the sea, and we have more incidents of the El Nino now taking around. With the 1998 incident that we had worldwide, Maldives was one of the countries that was very badly affected, and we have still not recovered completely from it. In fact, the recovery rate is so slow. We are very surprised. So we assume that this is partly related to the worsening environment.
After an hour's flight, the riders check a big pass at the tip of a rather long island, which seems to offer excellent potential for a rideable wave. From above, the spot looks perfect. The pass is identified on a map, but it's already time to go back to the Hamati. The spot is several hours of navigation away. Before weighing anchor and trying to reach the spot, Antony finds with Mike what to expect in the next few days.
Hi Mike. Hey, this is Antony speaking.
Hello, Andy.